Hello, thanks for tuning in. TGIF. All right, so last week we talked about the addiction and the 4 stages of addiction. And this week we're going to talk about a drug and addiction. And the drug is nicotine. Nicotine is a drug. Nicotine, if you remember my definition, a drug is something that changes the way your mind and your body work. And nicotine does that. And nicotine is still the #1 addicting drug. So, before we do this fun exercise using the stages in addiction, I did my own little research with just work. So my own little stats that I got. No vapors, but I asked smokers if they smoked, if they're smoking. So we have 12 in our office, and 5 of the 12 of us smoked before, okay? 3 of the smokers that smoked before are still smoking, okay? So 4 of them never smoked. All right, so the ones that, or the age ranges were from 14, 15, and then 17 and 19. To 19. So the 17 to the 19-year-olds that started smoking, they quit. So that's good. And I'm going to give you statistics in a little bit about that. Okay, so here's our review of the four stages. Okay, the experimental stage. Let me see. There we go. The experimental stage, during the experimental use stage, a person tries a drug for the first time. The first time is typically in a social setting, like a party, where the drug is available. The user tries the drug on impulse without considering the potential negative effects or consequences. Okay? All right. The next stage is regular use. During the regular use stage, drug use becomes a part of everyday life. At this stage, the user develops a tolerance, that's very important, tolerance to the drug. The regular user begins to spend more time with friends who use the drug and spend less time with friends who don't use. Okay? So regular use is when you have a tolerance. A tolerance means you need more of that drug. Okay, problem use. The problem user. At this stage, the user makes plans to obtain the drug. Normal behavior changes. Most activities are organized around the next opportunity to use the drug. Oops, I'm sorry. Where am I? Normal behavior changes. Most activities are organized around the next opportunity to use the drug. Getting and using, this is important, that's why I underline it, getting and using the drug is more important than all other interests, including relationships. And the last stage, addiction. Drug addiction. At this stage, independency. At this stage, the addiction and cravings are intense. The user will become uncomfortable or agitated if forced to go even a brief time without the substance. By now, the user cannot face daily life without using the drug. The drug is the first thing, and I underline that, the drug is the first thing the user thinks of in the morning and the last thing they think of before falling asleep. The user may deny there is any problem of use. But this is when they go without it, they become agitated, irritable, okay? All right, so here's the 4 scenarios. Okay, scenario 1. All right, this is Andre. Can you guys see that? Yeah, this is Andre. Halfway through freshman year, Andre's friends begin to notice smoking cigarettes has become more important to Andre than hanging out with them. He's always thinking and planning for his next nicotine fix. He spends a lot of money on cigarettes, and he won't go to someone's house if he cannot smoke there. So this is when this is a problem. This is the third stage. This is problem use. So it's what he thinks of. He's craving it, okay? And to get the satisfaction, he needs it. So, and he won't go to somebody's house if he can't smoke. Okay. This is Dawn. Okay. Dawn was hanging out with some classmate. Oops, darn it. Didn't want you to see that. Some classmates Saturday. At some point, one of the friends started vaping, and the others joined in. Dawn had never used nicotine before, but she started feeling uncomfortable because being the only one not doing it. She decided just once couldn't hurt anything, so she asked someone if she could try. Dawn took one puff and started to feel sick, and her heart started to race. So this is the experimental user. Okay, this is just, they tried it for the first time. But the problem is, if you try it, you might like it. So it's best not to even try it. All righty, this is Dante. Okay, Dante's been using chew or smokeless tobacco for a little while. He started hanging out with people who dip instead of his other friends. Dante has noticed he has to use more in order to feed his addiction and craving. Nicotine craving. He is now using 10 to 15 times a day. So this is his body is in his brain, it's become tolerant. So now you have a tolerance and you need more of that drug. This is the regular user. Okay. Last one, Steven. And if you remember which ones we did, experimental use, regular use, problem user, this is the last one. Okay. This is Steven. Steven has been vaping for almost a year. He can't make it through the school day without using vape. It is the first thing he thinks of when he wakes up in the morning. Uh-oh, now you got a problem. You're thinking about it all the time. When he is in class, he's irritable and watches the clock for the bell to ring. As soon as the bell rings, he runs off campus for a quick fix of his nicotine, a quick vape, before his next class. His need for nicotine is urgent. So here's where he goes off. Nicotine is urgent and impossible for him to ignore. And if you didn't guess it, it's the drug addiction and dependency. So dependency, because now your body and your brain have become dependent on that drug. So this is Sean Marcy, and I talk about him in 6th grade. And there's a really good video this is about smokeless tobacco, so chewing tobacco. But there's a really good video that his brother made a long time ago. All right, so now the statistics that I said. So, quitting smoking, founded on WebMD, okay? Quitting smoking can add 10 years to your life. So keep that in mind. And this was done in 2004. So look how much more advanced we become. Stopping around the age 40, they did all these scientific things, experiments. Stopping around the age 40 added 9 years to the person's life. Stopping at age 50 added 6 years of life. Stopping at age 60 added at least 3 years extra years to their life. So stop smoking add years to your life. So, and then this doll who did the experiment says that those who quit smoking before age 35 added 10 years of life and had a life expectancy similar to men who had never smoked. Okay, so the best advice is to just not even start, because you might get addicted. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.